critics of the tax discount, they say it overwhelmingly favours the wealthy.
Speculation is swirling the Treasurer will cut back the capital gains tax discount.
Capital gains tax and the discounts there, it seems as though the government has got its eyes on this.
Well, absolutely, and they always have.
There's been a lot of talk in the media over the past couple of weeks about the government potentially changing capital gains tax. In my experience, when we get these leaks in the media, it's essentially the government testing the waters to see what the public's response will be to any potential policy changes. In this video, we're going to run through why the government is even considering changing capital gains tax and have a look at what those changes might look like. Hi, I'm Darcy O'Rourke, a financial advisor in Australia. I wanted to start out with why capital gains tax reform is even coming up. Why is this an issue right now? It comes down to two key reasons. The first and most obvious one, housing. Housing has gotten so expensive across the nation relative to incomes. In my view, the government has to be seen to be doing something to address housing affordability. Secondly, we have an ageing population and the tax base of workers who are paying income tax is shrinking year after year. Now, these two things tie together. House prices rising and the tax base changing. Since the current capital gains tax discount was introduced in 1999, housing prices have skyrocketed. It is no surprise, investing in growth assets got a lot more attractive. The change meant that any capital gains realised no longer got discounted by inflation, they got discounted by a flat 50%, so long as you held the asset for at least 12 months. What does that mean? Well, essentially people making money from asset prices going up pay a lot less tax than people earning money from working. Let's look at a table comparing the tax of two people. One, a worker who earns $100,000 from working. Two, an investor who earns $100,000 from a capital gain. Let's see the difference in tax they pay. Both the worker and the asset owner earn $100,000. Now, because the asset owner has earned $100,000 by his investment increasing in value by $100,000, he gets a 50% discount or a $50,000 discount. That means his assessable gain is only $50,000. If you assume no other income, capital gains, or discounts, or tax deductions across the board, these are the rates of tax they'll pay. The worker pays close to $23,000. The asset owner, because of that 50% discount, pays around $6,500. Massive difference in tax, around $16,000 difference. With the amount of tax payable being so much lower for investors, it made it even more attractive to invest in property. Now, you can't just go out and buy a property tomorrow. You obviously need to save up for a deposit, expenses, everything like that. So naturally, it meant that older people who had more time to accumulate cash savings were more likely to be property investors. In 1999, when the CGT discount was first introduced, the older cohort of the baby boomer generation were just starting to get close to retirement. They were really thinking about their future, getting ahead, and with these changes, property started to become even more attractive. Now, because this portion of the Australian population is so large, more and more people started over time moving from workers to asset holders. Our population started moving from this to this. So that means less people were in the workforce paying income tax, and instead they were growing their wealth through assets increasing in value. That means the government's tax take dropped, and that's led us to where we are now with capital gains tax reform because of a lower tax take and also property prices increasing to where they are now. So what are the possible changes? The first option I've heard floated is reducing the capital gains tax discount from 50% to 25%. This will obviously increase the tax take that the government gets from people that generate wealth through assets increasing in value, and it will also make investing, but especially investing in property, less attractive. The second option I've heard is discounting capital gains by CPI or inflation. Now, this is how capital gains tax discount was calculated before 1999 when that 50% discount was introduced. Now, the thing I haven't heard anyone mention about this option is back then when this was done, you could actually average the gain across 5 years. So you're paying it based on 5 years tax brackets, not based on the single year's tax bracket in which you realize the gain. So it'll be interesting to see if the government goes with this option, if they bring that 5-year averaging rule back as well. The final option I've heard is keeping the 50% capital gains tax discount as it is, but only letting investors use it for one property. Now, realistically, in my opinion, any three of these options could come in. We don't know what's going to happen, what the government are going to do, if they even are going to change the way capital gains tax discounts work, but it'll be interesting to see which direction they go in. In my opinion, option 1 or 2 are the most likely, because these discounts can be changed on not just property, but other assets as well. And if we go back to why capital gains tax reform is even being discussed right now, it's not just because of property, it's because the government wants to increase their tax take, and we have more and more people that are asset owners nowadays that have wealth that potentially could be taxed. People have assets in things like shares, managed funds, those kinds of things as well. So I think the government has their eyes on those people, and they're looking at that as a potential new source for taxes. But let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think capital gains tax will change? Do you think it will stay as it is? And if so, what kind of changes do you think will be made? Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you want to see more videos like this, please click subscribe. If you want any help one-on-one with your finances, feel free to book in a free meeting via the link in the description.